Hello and welcome to the Car Culture Podcast. I hope that's a suitable intro. We are on one of our first episodes, not sure which one, but with me today, as always, we have Mr. Daniel. Daniel, introduce yourself again.
Why?
There we go. And
can you not forget to introduce Ahmed this time?
And Ahmed, but behind the wheels of steel. Most importantly, we have an AKA. We've got a big man. We have the biggest man in the game. We have Mr. SRT John Boy. John, introduce yourself.
AKA KTM John Boy.
AKA SRT John Boy.
I could be up for a name change soon. Yeah.
When's it coming, by the way?
When's it coming?
Yeah, the name change.
I don't know. Soon. Depends.
Anyway, yeah,
depends what happens in the near future.
Yeah, no, just give us like one line intro to who this man on that great seat over there is.
I'm a tennis coach that wears odd socks.
That probably wouldn't be my intro. I'd probably say I'm SRT John Boy. I'm a big guy.
SRT John Boy. There we go.
Intro,
SRT John Boy, the big guy.
Yeah.
So today, SRT John Boy, we have a series of questions. We've actually planned this episode, so we've got some actual.
At lunchtime.
Yeah. We've actually
well planned.
For the first time
okay.
ever, we've done some pre-planning. So I'm going to start off with the first question because why not? So, Mr. SRT John Boy, let's do the first thing. Let's talk about theme cars.
Themed cars.
Themed cars. Should we
I'll
start
tell you what. So why is the theme cars on the list?
No. First, define theme cars. Let's understand. For people who might not know, international audience.
People that will listen to this, maybe one person might be outside this country.
What is a theme car?
To you or to me? Or
both of you.
Go on, I'll let you go first, John, because we probably think the same.
Okay, well, a themed car certainly is something which is modded to someone's taste, yeah, that is generally revolved around a character or something which is normally non-car related.
A theme.
Yeah, exactly. But there are some that are necessarily not related to characters and superheroes and stuff. It could just be a general theme, I suppose, a colour theme. I'm going to say that I've been a victim.
Shifting wrap.
I'm going to say that I've been a victim to this myself. I would say at the beginning, in the old days with the Charger, before the shimmering wrap, where perhaps
What's your car theme?
Well, it was a black and green theme. That was my theme that on
you
all my cars.
indulged in the black and green.
I'll be honest, right? Your car was shit before. I don't care. Like
which one?
But do you feel cornered yet as well? Like it just started
as soon as I walked through the door, while you were setting up.
No. So like that theme, although it was shit, wasn't bad.
But that's a theme.
It is a theme, I guess so. But I think the themes in this region are taken to the extremes, right? Maybe
so let's talk about themes. Yeah.
Well, I guess because we don't really want to like bash anyone's cars here in the region too much, but it'd be like I grew up watching Bob the Builder. I didn't actually, but like, potentially I did. I'm going to theme my car on Bob the Builder, take it to a show here that's been happening for a while, and I'll win multiple awards because I've themed my car on a show that I watched when I was growing up, or a famous film.
As is your right and it seems to be obligation to win an award here as well.
Yeah, I guess it's the passion to win an award, right? Yeah. And I think, why did we ask you this question? And let's be honest, John.
I'm sorry, mate.
You've got a shit car as well, Alex.
Yeah, it's fine. So I'm allowed to.
And this man's moved on, right? Maybe that's the topic of the question. Like,
well,
listen.
Talk about theme cars.
In my defence, though, when the Charger, which I would say would be almost something that kind of put certainly my Instagram page on the map because it was American.
I wanted to ask about that.
It's an American car. Whether you liked the theme or not, the theme wasn't a superhero theme. I think that was way before there were a lot of themed cars that we're obviously blasting right now came about. This was in the early days where perhaps I think the car scene was not necessarily about a theme like that, but there was sound systems as well as wheels and body kits.
What year was this?
John's OG, by the way.
Yeah, that's my question. I got the Charger in 2012, so probably around about 12, 13 onwards. So we're talking early doors, whereas now 100% there are many events which the standard
cater and specialise
has just gone way out of proportion because people realise, right, somebody airbrushed their car and then they won an award. So then the next year, everyone decided to airbrush their car and put themes, and it's kind of escalated into where we are now.
That became part of the tick box, right?
Airbrush. Yeah, exactly, yeah.
So if you had a giant penis airbrushed on your bonnet, doesn't matter that it's a penis, it's a tick.
Yeah.
You know? Sorry, that was the first thing that came to my head. But But yeah, so a wind back, you're saying there weren't the events. I get you. So I actually like John.
Should we start off with that? Actually, yeah. So let's start again.
Thanks.
So this is Dan. Dan actually likes people. He's just Dan.
Don't like you, Alex.
Yeah.
No, John. So John's been around for a while. Like if I ring John tomorrow, I'm like, there's a car event. He'll bring his car. So for the scene, John's done a lot for our scene. We featured your car when
You could say he's a big man.
when it was not so great, and that was maybe car culture's taste wasn't great then at the time, right? And you made a great link already. You said there weren't the right events around at the time, and I think we're lucky now where the event scene has kind of grown a little bit more. I think the social media's connected people with a bit more taste in this region, which has really, really helped. But there was, back in 2012, there was no Flat 12 events. Flat 12 didn't exist.
Caffeine and Machine?
Yeah.
Caffeine and Machine, no.
Nascent, probably, if, like, Phil
But that
might-
was early days. I don't know if that was... No, that was 14, 15.
Yeah.
So back in 2012, there definitely wasn't anything. You were looking at Custom Show didn't exist then, and it just existed in Sharjah, but under a different guise.
So I guess...
there was something at the Sharjah Expo.
Yeah.
So
So it
what
was
was-
the guys behind Custom Show, but yeah, so go on.
Yeah, what was the car scene like back then? And what compelled you to do the build? Because it takes a lot of money, time and effort to go through that journey. So let's start off with, I guess, the first car, the Charger, right?
Yeah.
So let's talk about the Charger. Let's go through that journey of John's Charger.
Well, I mean, at the time, like I said, there wasn't really a car scene as such. What had a theme to it, if you want to say that. And I went down the lines of doing the engine first, and then used to take it to Yas and race it. But then I very
Big guy
quickly
things.
came away from that, and then put it on air, and then sound system for the events, because then I started getting into the events, which at the time there wasn't really many, and a nice car with good engine on
Sound system.
bags, sound system, and a set of wheels. That was about your most modded car.
Poor fitment.
Poor fitment, yeah, at the time, yeah.
Local hero, but
yeah,
really,
you-
yeah.
Bright
see.
green accents.
Yeah, bright green accents make it stand out. So yeah, that was kind of the big thing then. Was
So that's the first stage, right?
Yeah.
So what would you say the next chapter was?
with the Charger.
Dan.
Yeah, John met Dan. No, I don't know. John. So that's first chapter. So
Yeah.
we got to them. Then from there,
Well, from there, it just went in all different directions, I think, as the car scene went. And I obviously put a lot of money into the Charger, and I regret going in so many different directions that it
Hang on,
literally
can I
became...
stop you there?
Yeah?
Do you actually regret the Charger?
Yeah, I regret the amount of money put into it in all the wrong avenues.
without a specific direction, I guess, right?
Yeah, it was just... I just got pulled into too many different directions.
So, we can't name names here either, but if we go and talk about shops as well,
Yeah.
because I still think that, it feels like here it's too much of I go to a shop and they influence me, or they're like, oh, you want
You
to
need
win
this,
an
you
award.
need this, you need this, you need this, right? Like a checklist almost.
You-
Like you can't not do this, I guess.
Coming back from 2012, like the performance side of things, I think the UAE's always had and it's grown recently more so, but there's always been quite a good source of let's make power out of cars. Power and style are two different things. I think style is only really... I don't want to promote
power's
anyone
not
here.
subjective, but style is.
Style is very subjective, yeah. But I would say that the style has changed here, or the acceptable style has changed here over the last, let's say, 5 years.
So that goes to my follow-up. So next chapter, is that where Instagram starts, or when does the Instagram start? Right? Because I think there's probably a lot to do with...
He is a big guy on Instagram.
Yeah,
right?
but all jokes aside, as a person who works in the car industry as well, there are a level of influencers and a level of people who own cars. You're in that stratosphere. So at what point did John go from owning a Charger to getting the Charger on Instagram?
To become an SRT John Boy.
Yeah, sure.
Brackets.
I think I was SRT John Boy before the Charger, because I had a Grand Cherokee SRT before that. And that's where
Have you been featured in Wheels magazine?
I have,
That's how you know he made it.
Yeah, exactly. You know you're old school. I've been featured.
I
in
actually
Wheels
really like
magazine.
that as well. I always used to fix the back. It's good.
Does it still exist, by the way? Yeah?
I think so.
Do they still feature people? See, producer Ahmed.
Producer
who's not on
Ahmed,
camera,
exactly.
is nodding his head just for
I'm
people.
not sure if they
to
still feature people, but it does exist.
That's something we should.
They
pick
don't
up.
do the back page feature of like I own a
I haven't
Grand
really-
Cherokee.
I haven't picked up a Wheels magazine in a long time, but I know.
Anyway, I think we're on the
I
side.
think,
We're
I
on
think
the
they
side,
still
so-
do that, actually.
Yeah.
I think they still
Yeah.
do that.
Okay,
yeah.
so you had the Cherokee, you got the Charger, you had the tag before,
Yeah.
and you thought, screw it, let me just turn this into a thing.
Well, yeah. I mean, then obviously once the Charger was on bags and had the Supercharger and the Pro Charger on it, then I think it drew a lot of attention from some of the bigger pages, particularly in the States, that had a lot of followers, and they started sharing it.
Instagram was a bit easier back then.
Yeah,
as well.
Instagram was way easier. So then from then, it just kind of, that Charger did help my page kind of spiral into a lot of followers and constant features from pages. But like I said, it's changed very much from then. But certainly, yeah, that helped to build the page.
So is that during the unique color of the Charger, or
That
was it before?
That was
Unique.
way
Let's
before.
just say shit.
It was way before that.
Like we
Wait,
knew each
so
other
one
quite
sec.
well by then because I was slating him as he went to go and collect his award for his shimmering wrap.
So one sec, so it was black and green,
Yeah.
and then it went shimmering wrap,
Then it went shimmering wrap.
and
yeah.
then...
Well, I think it was black and green, like black, lots of green.
Not lots of green.
I can dig out
a little bit,
accents,
a little bit of
accents.
green.
Like,
Yeah.
listen, car culture was really tacky back in the day as well, so I'm not gonna like say. Oh,
What do you mean we still are? What are we
Yeah,
talking about?
exactly. But we're better than we were, right? And we shot your car outside the back of where
Festival City.
Lotus used to
Yeah,
be,
that's
Festival
right, yeah.
City, yeah.
Yeah.
And it was quite green then, to be fair. And
There
I'll
was,
never forget
there was a few green bits in the
the
interior.
first ever custom show that we went to and had a stand at. You were on a stand, or just say a stand, and the car culture sticker that was put on your car was like bent massively.
Yeah, I don't know who
remember
put
it,
that on, yeah.
And anyway, so that was, it was bright green, a lot of it, and then it kind of like dulled down quite a lot after that, yeah?
Yeah.
And then it went to shimmering wrap, then it
And
went
then-
to even more blacker.
Then it went back to black.
Then it went back to black with
And then it got
no
sold.
green apart from a few bits on the interior.
Then the Viper turned up. Let's do the timeline. You know what? Next question, John. Take us through the timeline. So we'll pick up this halfway through. So we've got Charger, shimmering wrap, and then Viper turns up. as
No,
well?
Charger, tacky Charger.
Yeah.
Wait.
He knows more about you than you do, mate.
Let's roll
Viper,
back to.
let's put loads of green on the Viper.
There was no green on the.
Bollocks,
There was a little bit,
engine
yeah.
bay had fucking
Yeah,
green.
all right,
See,
yeah,
I
there
know.
was, yeah.
Badges were green.
Yeah, there was.
Yeah,
Yeah,
see?
calipers. Yeah.
See?
Anyway, Lo, let's go back
Then it went
to let's go back to before all of those. When I first arrived in Dubai, 2010.
As a tennis coach, fledgling tennis coach.
I actually bought.
Did you wear matching socks back in the day?
No, I've never worn matching socks. What did I buy? I bought a Mitsubishi Eclipse GT.
Which would actually be cool now, right?
It
Like,
would
in
be,
our
yeah.
eyes, I think.
Which gen was that? Is that the last one? The coupe? They're all coupes, but
It's the one that
Bendy wing.
yeah.
it's the one that what's his name drove in.
Okay, yeah, too fast and
too,
furious.
but
Yeah.
obviously not the convertible. It was a silver one.
Ejectocito cuz that
Yeah,
one.
exactly. Yeah, it had a big wang on the back, bigger than your wang. Exhaust I could fit my head up.
Classy car.
Sure
yeah,
about that.
Greddy turbo, the whole lot on it, and yeah, bought that for next to nothing off some Filipino guy, I think in Murdiff. Drove that around for a bit, bottomed it out on a speed hump, and then had to sell that.
Tennis coach pulling up in a Mitsubishi Eclipse.
Parking's well away from the court. People don't see what I
Yeah.
turn up in. Don't-
But what's funny about that, because I'm guessing you grew up in the UK, it's quite funny quite a few of us come here and decide to buy something we can't have at home. Do you know what I mean?
100%.
Because
Yeah.
my first car was a
Exactly.
2-litre.
Like,
Yeah.
what
I'm
was
like,
it?
I'm balling a
7 point
2-litre.
Whatever. What was the Charger in
Well,
the
the
end?
Charger was a 7-litre, wasn't it? But the Viper's 8.4 V10, so you can't afford to
But
run
that's
that.
stroked,
Never has
right?
any petrol in it.
It was stroked from 6.4
That's
to
correct.
6.2.
Yeah. So after the Mitsubishi Eclipse, I then got
Okay.
an Audi RS4.
Nice.
The
Where did it go wrong?
B7, yeah, B7
Where
in
did
red.
it go wrong?
Where did it go wrong? It went
Yeah.
wrong. I think once I then got a big American V8 muscle, which was the Grand Cherokee, which was the WK1, which I still
the one,
which I
the
still-
SRT.
which is a 6.1, which I still think is the best one out of the lot. I think I prefer that to the newer ones. I'd have one of those again, and I kind of regret sticking the Pro Charger on the Charger. I should have Pro Charged the Jeep, all-wheel drive. The block is a lot stronger at 6.1 because the 6.4 block is not good.
Did you blow the
Well, it's not
original
meant for
engine in the
charging, is
Charger
it?
as well,
It's just
yeah.
a naturally aspirated engine, 6.4, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So after the Grand Cherokee was then the first Charger. After that was then I bought a 16 SRT, which was the last generation Charger. Had that for about 9 months, and then I saw a black Viper and decided I needed to get that. So
And in the meantime, we became big on social media, walked into the dealer and said, I'm the big guy, give me a big discount.
They gave me a massive discount off
But
that.
there's a lot
But
of
I had bought the Ram as well just before the Charger, actually. So
Again,
Was this just because of the relationship with the dealer, or just you liked Mopar?
to be honest, initially it was I liked how the Jeep was. I liked the service. I found a really good service advisor. I liked the whole service that I got on it.
When you buy a Raptor, you will be blown away because Dodge are shit. At
They are now, yeah, because I've like the service advisor used to look after me. He's buggered off back to India, so get shit service now. I did tell him that, but
You
so
heard it
yeah,
here first. Yeah.
Huh?
You heard it here first.
You're a bigger guy than me, and I just walk into Ford, and life is so easy.
Okay, well maybe one day I'll be a big guy in Ford when I walk in.
Who knows?
Try
I'm
and
not
tell
a big
them who I
guy
am.
in Ford. They're just really good.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So yeah, I think following that, then I just liked driving a V8, and the petrol was cheap here, and service was generally
Mate, it ain't anymore.
quite reasonable. Well,
Cost me 210 dirhams to fill up the Raptor today.
yeah, but still, that's
It's a
lot
Raptor,
che-
what do
it's
you
a
want?
lot- It's a lot cheaper than it
Still,
would
I
cost in
get
any
less
other
than
country.
400 kilometres to a tank, so
Okay,
I'd rather
so
like...
we've got to Viper,
Yeah.
and now we have a S14,
Yeah.
right? And that's the first Jap. No, you had an
Well,
Eclipse.
Mitsubishi was the
Yeah.
first Jap.
Yeah, but let's be honest, an S14
Yeah, all right.
Eclipse,
Yeah.
different level, right?
Yeah, so,
Yeah.
What happened is John started spending more time with Dan. Dan said, buy Dean's S14. John brought it.
But that Eclipse was an Evo underneath. It had the. I need
but
to get
it
this
looked
right,
like
I'm
an
on camera.
Eclipse. It
looked like
Someone
an
help. Is
Eclipse.
it not from? No, fuck. What's it called?
Front wheel drive.
I
We're
can't
trying to work
remember
out
the engine
what...
code is. What's the engine code on that Evo?
Shit.
The Evo up to like from 4 till 9, whatever.
Yeah.
That's not the point. So we're
It
up
was
at
still a
S14.
shit Eclipse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Well,
then-
actually, with the S14,
That's what we are now, yeah?
with the S14. So
There's
yeah,
a history behind that S14 as well.
yeah.
Quite a history, yeah.
With
We've shot it like every single last owner it's had. I don't know, from... I can't even remember the guy's name,
guy
but yeah.
before Dean.
Before Dean, yeah.
Yeah, what was his name?
Abdi.
Abdi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then Dean had it, put a load of money into it, then you bought it.
Yeah. Well, to be honest, I was getting the Ram checked out at Rami 4x4, and
yeah, that's the
I'd
story.
spoken to Dean, obviously, and even seen him at the workshop several times. And then I went there one day, and he wasn't there, and I called him and said, I'm on my way, and I was waiting outside, and he came around the corner sideways in his S14, and I just looked at him and immediately fell in love with it. It was black on black, came around the corner sideways, turbo spool, and I was like, oh, mate, if you ever want to sell that, let me know. He goes, I've got a long list of people that want it. And then I harassed him, I think, for about 12 to 18 months, and eventually he caved, and yeah, we
Why
got that.
S14? Just because of the way he's driving it? Or
That-
was
that-
taste
that-
changing?
No, to be honest,
That was post-Shimmer and Rap.
to be honest, I think out of the 13, sorry Andy, 14 and the 15, I think the 14 Kooky is probably my favourite look on the car.
I'd have a 15 any day of the week, but...
I don't know. I do like the 15, but the front of it.
But they never did this hand drive 15. Rather than talk about S14, let's think about what John likes about cars in general. What's your ideology and like what attracts you to these kinds of cars, S14 included, right? Because you're the guest. I could keep talking, but what do you like about these cars?
To be honest, I have always been a lover of cars since the age of like 1 or 2 years old. My dad was forever playing around with cars, had different cars at home in the UK. So
Doesn't
my
your dad
dad's...
still have a truck?
Yeah, he does. I mean, even now, you know, he's in his 80s, early 80s, and he's still got a 1949 F1 pickup as a project just to keep him busy in his spare time. Because obviously he doesn't do much, and cars is his interest. He's passed that on to me. So yeah, I've always been around an upbringing of cars, modifying cars. And my dad had an American car phase. We used to holiday in the States quite a lot in Florida. So he was very much an American muscle fan. So that's obviously where I've got that side of it. But I've always been a fan of any car, to be honest. So I have a lot of love for classics, American, JDM, Euro. I don't really favour with one particular style or model. I'm open to all.
Man had a Fiat Uno Turbo.
Hey, that was my first car.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
That's pretty
So
cool.
when did the theme thing start? Because there's a passion for cars where there's like, I want to turn
I just
cars
think the
into a
theme thing, like, not that I'm giving him an excuse for building a shit car, but back in the day, there wasn't much else to do, right? Like,
No.
I don't think there was the right people. So there's one guy. There was a shop that used to be called Individual Performance. A guy called Oni used to run it. I think at the time that was like game changing for me because I've always been into stance cars from back home, and he was the only one that was like building tasteful, wide-bodied stance cars. They built that, what was the Z3M that was made, the red car?
Oh, okay, yeah.
They built that years ago, right?
Yeah.
Like, fitment was great, you know. So back when you were doing it, I think the direction was, it was really hard to find direction, right?
Yeah, no, it was. I mean, look, without sort of mentioning names, there was a garage that I went to which had just not long opened, and they did a lot of the work on my car to begin with, and then they were linked with an event or had people that were involved in an event which did have a lot of stuff to do with like sound systems and stuff as part of entering in it. You know, you get more points. So that's where I certainly got pulled a little bit by this particular garage and swayed into that direction.
And found passion in that.
Yeah, to be honest, and that never has really been a thing. Like, I wouldn't drive around now with a massive sound system, banging tunes. Like, yeah, I like my music loud and a reasonable sound system, but not an award-winning one with speakers blowing in my ear. And well, exactly, yeah. So that obviously was something where I certainly got swayed towards because of the garage, and they were offering a good deal and saying, oh, we can get you this and do this, you'll win this and win this. And, you know, that's how it went. But then I've come away from that, and, yeah, that's the way the scene sort of changed, because I know now those garages are promoting and pushing the themes. So
that's just to follow up on that question. I think that's interesting. How much do garages influence the scene? And like you said, like
it's massive, man.
If you've got a drag racing garage, for example, and like that would make drag racing bigger here, or like a sound system garage or whatever, like a audio visual garage. How much does the garages here built the scene here?
Huge. If you're talking like F Performance Sub-Zero that build fast sand drag cars, right? That is huge here, right? And it's built a scene. But those two garages are very, very good at what they do. When it comes to style, I know style is subjective, but
clearly we're talking about themes.
Well, I think what's happened is the garages have almost caused a bit of a vicious circle where they have maybe tried to push ideas to customers. And then as that scene has grown, they have no choice but to continue pushing that style. So I think some of these garages...
That's what they're known for, right?
Yeah, I think some of these garages may not personally like what they do with the cars, but they know that it sells, and they know the market is here and the money is here. I think they're in a circle with
and they put themselves in that position is what you mean. Yeah?
I think the biggest thing here is as well that when you start a business, it's all about making money. And I think a lot of the people that start the businesses or that have the money to put into that business aren't the people running the business. So it's not their passion. They'll get someone else in, pay them a salary or like a salary plus a percentage if the company does well. Now they're there to generate income from day one. If you go back to like Europe, especially, or the UK, someone will start a business off the back of their passion, right? And they'll earn money because they're passionate about doing what they do. And that style is reflected in that, right? And then they do it for 5-10 years and they get big. Here, all the successful companies that I know have passionate people on board and have worked hard at it, right? And have maybe not seen it as a money-making exercise. But I think a lot of the workshops here are like, oh, there's a guy that's got a lot of money. What should I do? Oh, I kind of like cars. Oh, I'll get this guy to start a workshop for me. And straight away from day one, he's under pressure to make money.
Yeah, but what the interesting point is, and with everyone in this room as well, I think you can't just have a garage. You need to have people willing to spend exorbitant amounts of money on cars.
We've got that here.
Yeah,
right?
We've got
that here.
Because, I mean, like for me, I would not be able to afford the car and do the stuff I've done to it if I was in the UK.
One thing I can't criticise is a lot of these theme cars, there are some that are built poorly, but there's a lot of them that have had a lot of money
and passion put into them, yeah.
I guess you could call it passion.
Yeah, no, but like again,
I might struggle to agree with that.
Style is subjective, right? And I think everyone knows our stance on it.
Subjective, but then there's fucking stupid.
But to your point, if it's been done well, there's virtue in that. If it's been done well,
bollocks.
Because you can't, you might not like it, but if someone's actually put the effort into making it good or doing it well, you can't polish a turd. That's the problem. And you can put a lot of effort into polishing a turd. It's still a turd. But
it's that old thing. It's like, oh, I'm 17. I've passed my test. I've got a car. I'm gonna pull girls. I think
no. Rule number one: no girl will ever get in your car.
Exactly.
You'll pull guys. Yeah.
Yeah. So like,
It's true.
and
It's true.
But people in their middle ages here in UAE are still thinking, I think, I'm going to get loads of girls if I build this.
Drive down JBR.
Yeah, this
Really loud sound system. Get a
this
Tiger. Maybe a
Bob
snake.
the
who
Builder
knows?
themed
Yeah.
Mustang. Like, all the girls are going to come after me. No, they're not. They're going to look at you.
Sorry,
and laugh.
very important. You have to loads of monster stripes. You need like
Yeah.
over the headlights,
Yeah, you need-
maybe
yeah,
even
you need
both.
monster- yeah.
You need that.
That's
you
a
can't
must.
not have
yeah.
that. Yeah.
No, that is a must. But, yeah, I mean, depends. I mean, passion. I agree with Dan that there is some of it. I mean, there are just certain things that shouldn't be on cars, like revolving hoods and things like that.
Let's be honest. That did make me laugh this year.
It made you
And I've
laugh,
seen it, and
yeah.
I've seen it in Japan. So if everyone says like, you know,
Yeah,
Japan
but
is
the Japanese
the.
can get away with it, right? Like
Yeah.
the Japanese. Have
You've
a
seen
way.
the stance as well. Some of those things look like they're
Yeah.
really depressed. Like
Yeah, the Japanese, they put Aventadors with like neon lights all round it, like
Pikachu
Well, it
Aventadors.
Yeah, you
I'm
know,
obsessed
in the
with it.
around the wheels and inside. I mean, that's the kind of thing which, yeah, it's not really.
Neons can be cool if it's done right, right?
Yeah, I'm thinking of setting a set of neons on the Sylvia.
Sylvia
Andy's will be
work.
on that. We're gonna group buy, get a few. We're gonna go Fast and Furious black with green neons underneath, of course, green.
You could like build it on Need for Speed Underground 2. You can see what it looks
Yeah.
like on there. You
Yeah.
can see what colours work well.
You'd have to get a GameCube for that. No? That's how old Need for Speed is, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, no, I think when going back to your time, and it is tough. And I think the social media was pretty. Social media on a whole, like back in 2012, was quite small, right? Like,
Yeah.
And I think let's take that question and make it into a thing. Like Mr. John SRT John Boy. John
we never had
SRT.
Fast Car magazine here, right? That's media, right? So when
Yeah.
I was growing up, everyone wanted a Vauxhall Nova with a body kit on it, right?
Yeah.
Because we'd see it in max power, and Jackie Degg would be spread all over the front of it, right?
Yeah.
Like that was cool. But what do we have here? We don't. We have.
Well, what's your opinion on social media? Because you're a big person. Like all jokes aside, you're a big person on social media. What do you think that social media has done to cars and people
Or
who
the
like
scene.
cars? Yeah.
What do I think it's done to the scene? Well, it's certainly helped promote the cars and promote the scene here, and obviously it's helped promote it overseas. I mean, there's been events where, you know, that I've certainly been a part of where people have come from overseas to the event. So I certainly think it's helped. I think it's very recently it's changed a lot. Probably not for the better.
In what way? That's interesting.
Well, I just don't think people use certain platforms like they used to, or people don't see things on that platform. I mean, certainly I've always been a fan of Instagram over some of the other media forums, to be honest. You know, things like Snapchat and ones like that I never really understand. Instagram,
TikTok now.
Well, yeah, I mean, Instagram, even YouTube. Just Instagram is quick, it's easy. You know, you can write a caption, you can post a photo, you can post a video.
John's captions used to be fire as well.
Yeah, they did actually. Yeah,
should
I
go
need
for
to get back my caption game. To be fair, but I think that was something that I personally could relate to. That was convenient. It didn't take a lot of time for me in my day to be able to do it. Whereas
And was it fun?
it was, to be honest. Yeah, to be honest, what I did like about it was the interaction with the people commenting or sending messages or asking questions, and I enjoyed helping people out with saying, "Oh, where did you get this? What would you advise to do that? How would you like me to do my car?"
What made you wrap your two cars in a shimmering wrap?
Mate,
for
go
custom
on YouTube and see my video on the Charger wrapped in that. That's got, I don't know, 38 something thousand views. I don't even know how, but that one's gone.
And everyone commenting.
It's amazing, yeah. Where'd you get the shimmering wrap from? But no, I think now it's a bit tougher because certainly a lot of my followers don't see what I post because of how they change the algorithm and things now. So, and I certainly don't see a lot of my people that I follow what they've posted. So you're missing out on a lot. So I think now, from a perspective of promoting, whether it's a business, an event, just generally getting the car scene out there, I don't think it's getting as much
So
reach.
do you think that thing of it being harder to get noticed is making cars more exaggerated because we need to go even crazier to get people to see it? Maybe.
Yeah, I could see that for sure. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that sort of is shown in a lot of the events now where people have posting up some of their rides.
To get the same, well, actually, to get the same attention they used to, right?
Of course, yeah, you've got
But-
to try harder.
Yeah, but that's my point. That like,
I'm just
how
trying to
much of having a car is having an Instagram page that goes with it? Do you know what I mean? Like, for me at least, I find it like quite sad that the first thing people do when they get a car that's interesting, like, I have to have an Instagram page for it. Like, they're almost intrinsic.
Yeah.
rather than being like, I like the car because I just want to drive it around and have a good time with it. Do you know what I mean?
Well, no, for sure. I mean, look, there are people in my phone book that are saved as their Instagram handle or the car they drive based on that.
It's
so
taken
that
me
for
a
sure.
while, but I found a great SRT John Boy
Oh, here we go.
caption.
And it's on I can see it's on a photo of the Viper that
Yeah.
you guys took. Go on. What was my caption?
I don't imitate, I innovate.
Exactly.
The game has been changed.
It
Go on, give me
has,
some of these. Give me some of
exactly.
these.
That was back from February the 21st after the second Made show.
I see my game was all right up until recently then. It's like,
That's very recent.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if I can go back, this man posts so many pictures. Like, you know, if I could go back to when you had green everywhere, I don't know what your comments would be like.
So, do you call yourself an influencer?
No.
No.
Why
No.
not?
Because he wears odd socks and he
No,
looks stupid.
because I don't like to associate with the term influence because that's all those bellends that come over to 5 Palm and stuff, and that's not really.
John doesn't influence anyway. Really.
No.
Right.
Well, no, actually, that's a lie.
And I'm not
Because if
being
you're talking,
offensive.
but if you're talking about people coming to you and asking about what's
John
on their
doesn't
car,
try and sell me anything.
Ahmed, would you agree? Like that being what an influencer kind of is, not in a bad way, not just like I agree with.
I understand what you're saying, and yeah, I would say I could agree with that statement, but I wouldn't call myself an influencer at all.
in
far
that
from it.
5 vein of it.
Yeah. I mean, certainly, wind back the clock. I said when social media was a little bit different and the reach was a little bit greater, then I would certainly, I enjoy helping people out, people asking for my opinion on things. But to be honest, when people are saying to me, oh, what would you get? Would you get this? Would you do that? I just tell them, build the car how you like, because that's, that's what I do.
2018. When the sun hits, the rainbow shines.
Yeah, on shimmering wrap. Yeah, but that's just the stuff.
Producer.
You cut some choice images in here.
I'm stating some facts here, because when the sun hits it, look at the rainbow shine.
Rainbow, that is a train crash. That is horrendous. So, rewind to SEMA 2019, or was it 18? I think it was 19.
Yeah, I think it was 19.
Yeah,
What were we
because they
talking-
had one and then Corona happened. Oh, it was 2018.
It was 18.
SEMA 2018.
18. Okay.
Did that change your journey?
So what happened at SEMA? I don't get it.
We got this. We got
Oh, no,
10
what-
minutes left.
What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
No,
you
not
know,
that.
that's-
Fine, but like what
All I remember, first day of Vegas, is we're going up and down this escalator about 10 times, and he's lost the plot already. We've been in Vegas for 2 hours, and
Yeah,
I'm
because
just
these bellends
hurling
are walking
abuse
around
at
in a
him.
massive circle looking for some. I don't know what you were looking for. What were you looking for?
I was just trying to get out of the hotel.
Going up an escalator, walking round, and then going down one. Then going up the same one again, walking round and going down. Guys, we're going around in fucking circles here.
welcome to NASCAR.
He did get very angry, bless
Yeah.
him. It got worse after that. But anyway, so did SEMA change it? Because to be fair, there was actually some really cool cars at that
There
SEMA.
was. I don't think it changed anything because I think I've obviously, although I've not been to SEMA and that was something on the bucket list which I've ticked, I'm well aware of the type of cars and builds there. It was nice to see them in person. I think certainly what for me it highlighted was the quality of the work that goes into those builds there compared to here. Because I've also myself been on the receiving end of some pretty shoddy work in certain garages where the quality is just not there. So that showed how the quality is so much better over there, but also I think it showed that people work on their cars a lot more themselves in the States than we
That's
do.
also
we do here.
in the UK as well, right?
Of course. So that was just a bit of an eye-opener, to be honest, on the quality that people have put into the cars themselves. And that goes back to something earlier about having a passion.
Well, actually, that
Yourself.
goes back to this idea of garages influencing the scene. If more people are building their own cars, that probably means the garages might have a bit less of an influence, right? Because if it's just me, the one I like a lot is I think not a Camaro, it's like a Firebird with that crazy V8 that's almost within the firewall, and it's got this like mental exhaust manifold. It looks like a proper like barrel of snakes.
Yeah.
And the guy built it at his own house, like outside.
Yeah,
right? And he decided that's what I'm going to do. So if more people are building their own cars in the US and the quality you're saying is better, do we think that those things might be intrinsically linked?
Yeah, for sure. I think absolutely. You know, I mean, if we could all have time to stand over our cars while they're being worked on in the garages, I think we would, but we don't.
Yeah.
You know, I spend a lot of my life getting cars from one place to another.
Fixing
and
someone
having to
else's work.
and then having to get a taxi back and then going again. So
Send Majdi again, boys.
exactly. Majesty's on speed dial. He's
Recovery,
my,
Yeah, no, but I think that is interesting because again, like I think the one thing we all do have in common here is the idea of spending money on cars and the fact that I don't.
That our cars will break. Yeah,
Yeah.
That's one thing we have in common. Yeah, well, our cars break. Yeah,
That's one thing we have got in common. Taste, no.
No.
Like, I much prefer the way he's gone
Yeah.
to where you've gone in life.
How long did your journey take? I've got a few more years. Yeah. I need
It took him one
I need to go
custom-
to the shimmering rack
Took him
stage.
to
I
one
need
custom
Yeah.
show where he got so much abuse about his rap.
I don't care. I'd wrapped.
To be fair, he's never have given a shit, which is what makes it even funnier.
Yeah, exactly. I never have done.
But he never paid for the rap, let's be
Yeah,
honest.
well, see, that's the thing. Like,
it doesn't mean it's cool.
No. Look,
Didn't pay for it, it's cool. No, John.
I actually don't dislike the rap as much as you guys do. I still think it's okay.
All right, hand on heart. I don't mind it. I don't care that much, and if it makes you
Listen,
happy, I don't mind it.
you've seen this fucking
yeah, exactly. It's going to go
car,
to that wing, so I'm not
Like-
allowed to. Yeah,
He's going nowhere.
but I respect the fact that you decide what you like, and you build the car that you want.
Yeah.
If you want to have some Mustang that apes a movie that came out a few years ago, because you
yeah, but
woke up one
then
morning
you're
and
glorifying
you
all
thought,
these guys
"That's
that are
my
doing
passion."
themed cars, right?
Yeah, well, let's bring it back to that.
Can I go back to the rap? I don't
He's
dislike
trying to
my rap.
defend
I don't
himself.
regret doing the rap. I did the rap for a reason to
Social
cause
media made
exactly
me-
this.
social media made
Look,
me
at the end
do
of the day, you're still talking about it now.
Yeah, because it was shit.
I don't care.
And I still
But
talk
whether-
about this
whether
man's
it's-
wing.
Whether it's shit or not, you're still talking about it. It's done it. It
did its job.
It did its job exactly. I did it.
If we weren't
I
in this
rapped-
country, there's many other cars that I'd
I
pull
rapped
out.
the Charger, I rapped the Viper, and I rapped my son's little battery operated Charger.
Can you
Three
remember
of
that
them.
video you did? What I do for Instagram to gain traction. John has had a shady history. Probably not as shady as me, to be fair, but
He's an expert.
but yeah, there are some videos that should never go on social media.
Yeah, look, I don't regret the. I don't.
Come on, you must regret the video.
What video?
It's okay to regret things you've done in the past.
Me and everyone who hasn't seen the video are lost.
No,
You
can we?
haven't
Yeah,
seen-
you know, actually,
We
second
can get it.
producer Andy, can you slice in? Yeah,
Yeah.
you can.
Yes,
yeah,
you can.
Yes, you.
Yes, you
can.
can.
Just slice in a little 3-second snippet. Give us a little flavour.
Yo, what is going on YouTube?
So, all right, social media highlights, social media lowlights.
We'll go-
Because again, I think everyone who knows you through social media, not the tennis.
I
coaching
actually
stuff.
generally, that's a great question, better than my fourth question on the list. I think that, what's the high point? I want to know this, right? And yeah, today's thoughts, where's the high point?
What's the high point?
Yeah, of like, what was the biggest
SRT
hype
John
thing?
Boy's life on social. Yeah.
Not life on social, what was the biggest moment?
What's my high point?
In the car, kind of.
Okay.
If it's not this, what I'm thinking, I'm going to slap you.
You mean this
No.
podcast? Yeah.
No, do you know what I'm going to say? I would say the highlight of.
I've got a funny story to tell as well.
No, my highlight would probably have to be the Viper getting wrapped, the livery design by Kyza.
Yeah, I think we all agree.
I'm
yeah,
so
we're all-
happy now.
Yeah.
I was waiting for that.
Yeah, we're all going to say that. Yeah.
Of course, yeah, that's definitely my highlight. I've become friends with the guy and still speak to him now, so that in itself is
That could be seen as quite wild as well, by the way, in terms of like, it was a ballsy move.
I think
in
everything
my
I've done
eyes.
with the Viper's been ballsy, you know? I mean, if
It's
you
a
go
Viper,
back to
you're
the
not
year
gonna
before, who slams a Viper and why would you put those wheels
That
on
made
it?
a real big impact, by the way,
Yeah,
as well. First
who
time
slams a Viper and who puts those wheels on it? I mean,
Now
that's
I'm,
it as
now
well,
I'm
right?
starting
Yeah.
to agree with John.
See-
like, that was pretty cool.
I agree that those wheels are not to everyone's liking, but then people said don't put
No, but that's taste
don't
is
put BBS
right.
wheels on an S14.
Yeah.
It's a Japanese
This
car.
is where
I
I'm
did,
getting.
and it looks
Taste
savage.
is
So
right. Taste is subjective, right?
Yeah.
But still, like, you're not theming your car on a film.
no.
Like,
But
so-
again, if you look at the wheels that I put on the Viper, a lot of people hated that. A lot of people hate the look of the Viper.
I was there when you
with
first
those
fitted
wheels
them,
on.
right?
Yeah.
I
Well,
remember
I mean,
that.
But again, it gets people talking. Whether it's they're slating it or whether they're complimenting it, it's still talking about
But
it.
it fits
That's
inside
their
it.
job.
You could say you live to offend.
Yeah, and I don't care what people think. It's my car. It's my car. I'll put what I want and how I want it, and I'll do what I want with it. So I don't really care.
Yeah, but
if you
that's
don't
cool,
like it.
right? But putting a silly rap on it, like Kyza's wasn't silly. Shimmer and rap
But again,
was silly.
okay,
right?
but again, if
it was bagged and it had great fitment,
Right,
or
I'm gonna
something,
do a
maybe it
vote. I'm
worked.
gonna do 2 polls. I'm gonna put one with the Charger or the Viper, a yes or no for the shimmering wrap, And then
You've
I'll do
got a
another
lot
one.
of bad fans on Instagram.
Oh,
mate.
come on. Yeah. You can't just pick and choose that. What?
How about we do it on Car Culture's Instagram? And that's bad enough.
Well,
right?
actually, why not just do it on both?
Yeah. And then the same with the livery design that Kyza did, because again, a lot of people don't like that.
Really?
Yeah, if I did a poll on the all black or the Kyza and the black
Yeah, but
one,
listen, like
people prefer the all black.
But all black is quite like it's easier to deal with,
Classy,
right?
it's classy.
For me, it made a massive impact. Would I have done it? Yes, probably, because I think it's cool, right? Would I have kept? You haven't kept it, like it's not on the car now because you're selling it, right?
No, yeah, it's
Would you
been
have
removed.
kept it long term?
No, to be honest,
How'd you register it? That's what I want
But
to
it's
know.
really,
look,
really.
I kept it on until it was due for registration, and that's when it's come on. To be honest, I might have taken it off before then. No offense to Kyza, and I did say that to him, but I probably would have taken it off if it was easy just to remove it. I didn't have to go through the whole registration and pay to change the colour. I probably would have taken it off before a year. I get bored of things quickly.
That's fair enough, yeah.
But it was, I think, for the scene here, if we're talking the scene
Impact.
here, it was a massive thing, right? Is you've utilised someone's talents who's huge,
Yeah.
like international, and like that whole time there was a lot of international media based around this region at the time, right?
Yeah.
And then we went into COVID time, so like it kind of peaked at the right time, and I think it was. I'm not saying it's a smart move for social media, but it's for the right thing. But in my mind, then you had that car, which taste-wise, there are certain different tastes in the world, went down a different road. How did that work with that fan base? And it's the same with, now I've gone and brought a Silvia, and I've put it on air, put quite a bit of camber in it, and put BBS RS on it, which is not
SRT.
a typical. Well, it's not SRT, but it's not even a typical way of styling a Silvia that's popular, right? So, and then I know because I analyse his Instagram. We always talk about this, right? Like reach and posts, how posts are doing well. Like, has the Silvia started to become more popular over the Viper or the SRT or?
Yeah, I mean, in my posts of recent, certainly the Silvia is reaching more people and getting more likes.
So you're influencing the Silvia scene, I
Well,
guess.
yeah, but not to take away from the Silvia, because obviously it's my car and I think it's sick anyway. But I think
I really like the Silvia, by the way.
I think that my reach to the States and the fans and the followers in the States is a lot less now than it used to be. So I don't think they're seeing the car. I think I'm reaching out nearer to around GCC and around this area where perhaps then the Silvia is more popular. I mean, look, I will say, no lie, if I'm driving the Viper down Sheikh Zayed Road and I'm driving the Silvia down Sheikh Zayed Road,
Silvia
I
gets
will
way
get
more
way
attention.
more people putting their window down and sticking a thumbs up at me in the Silvia than I do in the Viper
Really?
every day of the week.
Why?
100%.
But you've, because I
30
actually
grand
don't
car,
think
300
people,
grand
enough
car.
normal
I love
people
that.
recognise it. Because I think it's cool. So do
yeah.
you think that, okay, so here's a question. Is it because it's in S14 or is it because it's built that way?
No, I actually think S14s
Yeah,
that's
generally
the
do
question, I
get
know.
quite a good rep in this
Yeah, because I've got
region.
shit wheels on it now, and if I drive that, I've still had somebody putting a thumbs up at it, and it looks garbage at the moment.
Garbage isn't the word, it's terrible.
It's not terrible. It's
How are
still
those not the
S14.
same thing? I don't
Can we
know.
flash another picture up in here,
Yeah.
please, Andy?
Yeah,
'Cause
actually, you
it's
know
not
what?
on your Instagram.
There.
Yeah.
But it's not like
But it was because it's an S14 and people were like...
That is, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, when it's obviously
his
got
car's
the
only terrible at the
BBSs
moment because it's being rebuilt.
Yeah,
and some
if
stuff,
it's got the BBSs on it, I mean, the ride height on it is pretty low on air. I've got it set very low.
Proper aggressive.
Yeah.
Man drove around with no front number plate on, slammed on its ass for ages, and wondered why he got a fine
I
on
don't have a
Sheikh
number
Zayed
on the
Road.
Viper, actually, thinking about it. So, yeah, let's put that back on. So, yeah, I think certainly it's a bit of both, isn't it? It's a bit of it being an S14 and the way it looks, because it does look savage driving down the road, cambered like that. So it's a bit of both, whereas the Viper... Yeah, people see a supercar and don't really sort of turn their heads at it in
Yeah, I was about
in
to
Dubai.
say.
Even though there's not that many Vipers, let's be honest. But some people don't know what a Viper is. They look at it, they just sort of think it's a
Big angry thing.
a sports car.
I wasn't a
don't know which
fan.
one.
I'll be honest, I wasn't a fan until I drove it.
Yeah, but what's
Like,
interesting
it
with
is a
that-
little bit special. But
Like, this is supercar land, and the thing I think everyone's kind of got bored of are supercars, right? Like, who... If
when I first arrived here, I was
can't
like,
take another
wow.
Lamborghini.
3 weeks later,
but
I was like, oh, God.
Where I live, in Marina, I hear a Lamborghini every 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Like, I can replicate the sound of a fucking V10 off my, like, the top of my head because of
boy,
all
lives in
these
the Marina.
stupid supercars here. But I think, to that point as well, like, something different is more attention-grabbing than another Lamborghini.
There's less road registered S14s than there are Vipers here.
Yeah.
I know that for a fact.
Yeah, okay.
But I guess it's concept, right? It's the idea of, like you said, some crazy slam car that I've seen on Instagram, seeing one in Dubai, or seeing, like you said, like another sports car, which people might not be able to identify. Like, oh, is that some sort of weird Corvette? Because they don't know. Do you know what I mean?
Of course,
Yeah. Okay. So final thoughts, I think.
I'm on the whole. Yeah. So final thought is no regrets in the car scene then.
No, not really. No. I mean, the only real regret is putting so much money into the Charger in so many different directions, but
sold it. Can we be public with how much you sold it for?
Yeah.
65?
No, 50.
Oh, how much money did you put into it?
I don't.
It's got to be over 300. More than that. If
No,
you include the price of the car.
It was a little bit less than 300, I think, but it wasn't far off.
Including the price of the car?
Oh, including the price of the car?
Yeah.
Oh, way over 300. Yeah. Brand new, it was 185 driving it out of the
No
showroom.
regrets though, by the way. Like, no regrets.
185 out of the showroom, because that was back in the day when the
John,
SRTs
I'll be
were
honest
cheaper.
with you, that's baller going.
Yeah?
If you've got no regrets over spending that amount of money on a car, that's baller. But wrapping your car in that fucking terrible wrap.
Which is going to the vote later, and you'll see that it's not as, it's terrible.
Well, you said
listen. But if you've got shit followers, John, then they're gonna let me go on my Instagram, mate.
Okay, do it on yours then, without any caption.
Well, do them both.
Without any caption.
It's not even going on car culture. Just put it on my personal one. People be like, "Who's this idiot?"
No,
What is that? John, the guy that has the OK Sylvia? Yeah, he was a bit lost back in the day.
Final thoughts?
I've got followers from all parts of the world on all different cars, so I cover all the car scenes.
Cool, big guy, speech show. Yeah, I think that's a great one to end on, Alex.
Do you want to plug something, mate?
Do I want to plug something?
You've got your T-shirt on, don't you?
I have, but then,
I love the way the lights just dimmed. I don't want to see that shit.
COVID ruined this. I set a website up, srtjohnboy.com. Tried to set up some merchandise.
He's a big guy.
Yeah, I've not got big guy on there.
Oh, mate,
can we
You should do big sizes.
I should do.
Can we just take bigguy.com?
But I've got a shitload of merchandise if anyone wants to buy some Slam T-shirts, Slammed hats.
It's all cheap. It's all from China. I know.
But yeah, COVID hit, no events, so I couldn't hand them out and sell them or whatever. But yeah, so that maybe is something to
give credit to
keep an eye on.
He did ask me, do I have to wear a car culture T-shirt?
I got a
to
statement
the podcast,
fine.
And I was like,
so
no, you don't have to. Like, wear your own stuff.
Screw car culture. Slammed, mate.
There we go. Done.
I've sold more T-shirts than you.